All right, we are at 7 o'clock, so I think we shall go ahead and get started. We have a ton of material to cover tonight. We are going to try to get through things in a tighter 90 minutes tonight, as opposed to last year. So we are going to go through quite a lot of stuff very quickly. We will have time for questions and answers, and this will be recorded if anyone wants to watch it later, and will be followed up by a written documentation of everything as well. So I am going to go ahead and officially get started. So I just want to welcome everyone to Panohio 101. Here we are, just about a month out from the 20th annual Panohio Hope Ride, and I'm so excited to see everyone next month and excited to see everyone on the call tonight getting all ready for the last preparations. So we are going to cover a whole lot tonight. So let me just do a couple of quick introductions. My name's Stacy McGrath. Darrell McGrath, you want to say hi? So you pop up for everyone?
Hey, everyone.
So Darrell and I serve as the co-chairs of this event, and then we are joined tonight by our awesome Panohio ACS staff team. Leigh-Anne, you want to say hi? Bob?
Howdy.
And Alyssa.
Hi, everybody.
So yeah, we're going to roll through a whole lot of information tonight to get everyone ready for everything they need to know before, during, and even after Panohio. So couple of quick housekeeping notes before we get started. We really want this call to be interactive, but we also want to make sure we keep distractions to a minimum and noise to a minimum. So if you don't mind, go ahead and mute your microphones and keep your microphones muted while you're not speaking, just to reduce the noise. But there is a chat feature. If you're not familiar with Teams, up on your top toolbar, there's a little chat bubble that says chat. You can click on that and send messages either to individuals, or I recommend just sending them to everyone. If you have a question, it probably benefits others too. So I will be keeping an eye on the chat and making sure we surface any questions there. And if you are a returning writer, please feel to chime in the chat too. If we're talking about something and you have some awesome tips, our writers know everything the best. So if you have some great tips to chime in with too, feel free to drop all those in the chat. We will have time at the end for open questions and discussion as well. So at that time, if you have any further questions that we haven't covered yet, feel free to, we can, there's also a hand raise. It's helpful if people raise the hand and I can call on you so we know who's talking when. So feel free to use the chat, use the hand raise, drop your questions, drop your comments out there. There may be some times where you ask a question, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's later in the agenda. We will get to that. And I promise you we will. And again, if we get to the end and there's something that still hasn't been answered for you, we will make sure that you have a chance to ask that. Everything that we cover tonight, we're not going to do a lot of slides because we like to have focus on people's faces and see each other while we're talking, but everything will be documented. You'll be getting the full writer guidebook in about a week. It's nearly finished with all the updates, but sometimes things surface out of this call where someone has some questions or like, oh, that's a great question. We should add that to the guidebook. So we will be taking whatever surfaces tonight and making sure we add that information and get you all of that in writing next week with the recording of this call. So recording started, we are ready to go. I'm going to put these up here now at the beginning. We are going to come back to these later because these are very important. During the course of the event, we have 2 phone numbers to call, and I recommend that you put these in your phone now. Again, these will be in your guidebook, and the emergency SAG request call will also be printed on the bib that everyone will be wearing, so you'll have them, and they'll be on route cue sheets if you take them. But if you have a general information question, if you are not sure where your luggage is, you don't know where to find your dorm, you want to know what time dinner is, all those general questions that happen outside of the ride, those go to the 216-925-0328. You can call or text that number anytime, and one of our amazing staff members will get back to you at that. If you have an emergency or a SAG request, and this is during the ride, like if you have an issue on the route, you have a mechanical issue, you want to find out where the mechanic is, you're just having a little trouble and maybe you need a ride to the next water stop, you think maybe you're off course, you haven't seen a sign for a while and you want to make sure you're not lost, that's when we want to use the emergency route line for on the route issues. Calls only to that, don't text it, it won't be able to receive texts, but calls to 216-545-7373. Again, we recommend you save these in your phone ahead of time so you're not trying to look them up. We will talk more about all the conversation and communication protocol later, but just those are important, so we throw them out there at the beginning, and we are going to come back to them at the end again. So with that, I am going to stop sharing that. Did that stop? Stop. Okay. And we are going to roll into some awesome question and answer with our staff team and our chairs. So Actually, before we do that, maybe we'll introduce one other person that's on the call. Chris Bowles, we may call on you from time to time too. Do you want to say a quick hello?
Hello.
Chris is here, right? Okay. So Chris, if you have, I'm sure you've seen him around if you've been at the last couple Panohios. He is Bob and Alyssa and Leigh-Anne's people leader. So he will be with us for all days too. So lots of great resources on the call tonight. Hopefully you have some questions and we will get everything answered. And we are going to run through this like we do Panohio. So starting, we're about a month out from the event. Where are we before the event? What do I need to know right now? So I'm going to throw it over to Alyssa with some things that you need to know this week. So take it away, Alyssa.
Alyssa, you're on mute.
Starting off strong, guys. Someone's got to do it. Okay. So, so big thanks to those who are all joining us today. Really appreciate you taking time out and coming and hanging with us for the next 90 minutes. And also thank you to those of you who have already filled out your transportation and lodging form. For those of you who have not, the deadline for that registration is on Tuesday, June 30th. We have extended the deadline a couple extra days. So if you have not filled that out, today's the day to do so. So please do that before Tuesday. Any one-day riders who register between now and the 30th should also complete the form. And if anything needs changed from, like, say you submitted your form today or previous to today, anything that needs changed between now and July 22nd, just make sure to email us. Alrighty. And as always, keep your fundraising going. Make sure you're sharing, telling all your family and friends that you're riding. It's a big time for graduation parties and picnics and all the things. So make sure to spread the word about Panohio when you're there.
Right on. I'm just going to throw in a quick plug while you're talking to people. It's not too late to sign up as a one-day rider or create your own 328. And we also need lots of volunteers. So while you're getting excited about it, tell people that we need volunteers and we can pass that link along later as well. So there's a lot of information that comes out in the month before the event with all of the last minute details and logistics guidelines. Leigh-Anne, how can people make sure that they stay informed and see all of the great information that we're sending out?
So we do regular emails for Panohio. Come this time of year when we have a lot of information going out, we try to do some digest or newsletter style so that we're not overwhelming you with something in your box every day. We'll wait until the week before the ride and then you'll probably get an email every day as we lead up to the ride. But for now, we're trying to do digest so that you can get a summary of all of the things you need to know. We're on social media. If you haven't joined us on Facebook, Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Blue Sky. We're all those places you can find information as well as shout outs to our amazing dynamos, things like that. We'll include events, event updates and news there. You can always check out pohr.org. That's our website. I highly recommend bookmarking it and visiting it regularly. We have an announcements section and a pretty condensed but significant quick links section that will help you find things. Something I want to tell you about that comes up right during the ride is we do outbound SMS, that's text messages. You'll be opted in as a participant and you can opt out. We'll provide those instructions to you in the guidebook and in an email later on when we get ready to launch. But during the ride, sending text messages is the easiest and fastest way to reach you with those last minute things, whether that's a sudden detour on a road or a change in the Wi-Fi password at the campus or things like that. Those are the urgent things that you will need to know. So we encourage you to stay subscribed to that once we add it. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, Stacy.
I just dropped all of our social media links over there in the chat, so you can all go copy and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky. And again, watch out for that guidebook coming next week. We are actually doing a new approach this year. Those of you who have been with us, you know that the writers got a guidebook and the volunteers got a guidebook, and a lot of it was the same information with some special things. So we're making one consolidated guidebook this year with everything that everyone has in common, and then special sections for the writers and volunteers. So it should be a little more streamlined, and excited to get that all to you next week. Another thing that we will use during the event, it's not as relevant now, but I recommend that you download if you don't have it already, or look at What 3 Words. There is a great phone app called What 3 Words. We will provide all of our locations, not just with addresses, but with What 3 Words coordinates, and that is really a great wayfinding tool for you. Basically, the world is divided into 10 feet by 10 feet grids. I think it's actually 3 meters by 3 meters, because this was started in Europe. And each one of those little squares of the world has a unique combination of 3 random words. So if we tell you 3 words and you put it in the app, you can pinpoint to that location where dinner is, where bike storage is, where all the things are. We also like you to have it because if you do need SAG assistance on the road, that is the easiest way for SAG to come find you. If you open the app and click on it, it will tell you where you are, and you can relay those 3 words to SAG, and now they're not trying to find an address or a crossroads of a trail. They know exactly where you are. So if you're not already familiar with What 3 Words, I recommend you download and check that out. Okay. I'm going to throw this one over to Bob. What else can people be doing now to prepare themselves to ride across Ohio a month from now?
Well, you're in your last month of training. So thing one is you're not going to gain much fitness. Good news is if you nail everything else, you don't need to worry about it, even if you're starting from ground zero right now. But for the last couple of weeks, what I would do is keep your fitness up, and we like to say sharpen the sword. So work on those things that you know you can work on, like refine your nutrition on a long ride. Try your new tires, like a wider width, lower pressure. Try to figure out exactly what cadence you ride back. Refine your power and heart rate zones. The big thing is, especially for people who feel like they're going into this undertrained, is really work on the nutrition end. Like really do some long rides and focus on that, because that will do way more for you in these last couple of weeks than trying to do a bunch of miles. Also, this is the last couple of weeks that you have time to do like important gear stuff, like get your bike tuned up now. Don't wait 2 weeks. Don't wait the week before. Shops are way backed up right now and you don't have time to do that. Also, if you're going to try new shorts, new shoes, new tubes, tires, whatever, you got 2 weeks to nail it. After that, 2 weeks out from the ride, I wouldn't do anything. Don't mess it up. Right now, just refine what you've got.
Right on. Any other comments? I know I've not seen a whole lot of extra comments or questions in the chat, which I guess means we're nailing all the information you need. But yeah, don't make major changes right before the ride. I love, there's always someone that shows up that's like, I got a new bike last week. And it's never great because their body's not used to that and you want to work up to that. So I totally agree. Thank you, Bob, for that. What else? Is there other stuff people need, Alyssa? Like, if I know it's a little early to be packing, but maybe not too early to start thinking about what you need. So if you're missing anything, you could get it between now and then. So like, what do people need to bring with them for this?
Absolutely. So obviously you are going for 4 days. All of you have been on some trip of some sort in your life and have had to pack. So you're obviously going to bring your personal clothes and toiletries, right? However, think smart on this. We're not going to all different kinds of places after you ride. Most people are riding in their cycling gear all day and then bringing maybe a change, like an outfit to change into after, and then clothes to wear to bed, right? So we're not packing all different kinds of outfits for all different kinds of different events and things. Pretty standard packing wise. Obviously bring your toiletries. The beautiful thing about Panohio is if you forget something, we probably have it. Not saying to make sure you don't bring a toothbrush because you can get one from the hospitality bin. But if you end up forgetting something, oftentimes we will have it. We have a hospitality bin, and then throughout the ride as well at our water stops, and we'll touch more on these later. We do have tons of different, first aid, comfort, medical supplies, you name it. We've got it. But again, please pack your favorites. If you know that there's a butt butter that you like, please bring that with you and, plan to bring it along on the ride. If you are training with certain goos, or gummy chewable things, like bring those with you because oftentimes we don't have the specific things people are looking for. Obviously bring your cycling gear. That's going to include your bike bag that you have on your bike. That's going to be your GPS, your water bottles. That's going to be obviously your helmet and your bike and all of that. Yes, your gloves, cycling gloves, your shoe covers, your whatever personal things you like for riding your bike. Don't forget those things. And as Bob mentioned quickly, we want to try to keep that luggage to less than 50 pounds. Think you are going on a Frontier flight. They charge you if it's over 40 pounds. So let's go to the 40-pound limit there. And if you are going to be like, you have a really, really heavy bag and you end up wanting to like, oh, I'm just going to put it all in one really heavy big duffel. That's not the best. It's really wonderful if you break that into 2 smaller bags, or we do like wheels. Those are also wonderful. But those big heavy duffel bags that go over the shoulder are definitely super tough for loading and unloading into those trucks. So just consider that a lot of the people that you see on this call, staff, volunteers, are going to be the ones lifting this luggage into and out of trucks multiple times a day. So yeah, pack light.
Yeah.
No
Pack
bowling
light.
balls. There's not going to be time, I promise.
You don't need your bowling balls. You don't need your grappling hooks. You don't need those bricks. Leave those
And we're
behind.
not doing dumbbell workouts after either. So I think we can pack light.
If you are,
Yeah,
I think there's probably a gym on each campus. We can set you up if you really feel the need. But again, 2 bags better than 1 heavier bag for sure. And like Alyssa said, we'll provide anything you forget. But we probably don't have 300 toothbrushes, so don't not bring anything, knowing that we have you. Because if everyone did that, we'd probably have a problem. We will have pillows. Sometimes the blankets in the dorms are very light. We will have real pillows. We've been assured of that. But sometimes the blankets are light. So if you have a favorite blanket, or you tend to sleep cold and might want an extra layer and you want to bring a lightweight blanket, or you have a super favorite pillow and it fits, that's fine if you want to bring that along too. So just, we do also recommend bringing a towel for the shower truck at the finish line. So we'll talk more about finish line later, but just on your packing list, like any good adventure, don't panic and don't forget your towel. All right.
exactly.
Thank you, Leigh-Anne, for getting it there.
Yay!
Yay, nerd
Book
alert.
people.
You're my people, nerds. Okay. Any other questions about what you want to do over the next month? Obviously, the other thing that you can be doing over the next month is fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. This is the time where we make our final push. We're closing in on $500,000, and I will say we usually make half of our money in the month of July. So I'm feeling good about $1 million this year. We're getting to where we need to be. We are ahead year over last year. So that's great. So keep it up. Any questions about what to do over the next 30 days? Or shall we roll right into what happens during event week?
Yes.
Okay. Fast
Sounds
forward.
like we're
You're
ready.
trained. You're packed. You're ready to go. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. So if
What
you
do
are
I
in
do, Leigh-Anne?
Cleveland, if you are in Cleveland or Columbus, you can pick up your packet early. You can pick it up at the Cleveland office of the American Cancer Society, and I'm going to drop the addresses in the chat in just a moment. Or you can pick it up if you're in Columbus at the McGrath residence. They are on Weber Road in Columbus. And then if you aren't in those places, or if you're in those places but don't want to make a special trip, you can pick up your packets at the stop for your bus, where you take your bus into Cleveland. So in Columbus, that'll be at Otterbein. In Dayton, that'll be at Wright State. And in Cincinnati, that will be Lunken Airport. Some of you are probably noticing that there is no Cincinnati or Dayton pickup. We no longer have offices in anywhere near there, so we don't have an opportunity to pick up there. So we're just making it easy and letting you pick up at the bus stop when you go to board. The last place you can pick it up for Clevelanders, locals, is at the kickoff dinner. You're welcome to pick it up from 3 to 9. And one of the things we will remind you is in your packet, you'll have numbers. So if you are traveling and you pick up your packet at your bus destination, at your bus stop, you're going to need to open your packet before you even leave to put the number on your bike. So just a tip there. And then if you're a 1-day rider, a 2-day rider, or you just want to show up on Thursday morning and pick it up, then you can pick up a packet at the start line of each day. And yeah, so we got you
All
taken
right.
care of. I'm
So I got
gonna,
my packet. You mentioned
Yeah.
that you could get those like at the bus pickup. So like Alyssa, do you want to talk about that bus pickup a little more?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you get there, you're going to get your packet. In your packet is going to be quite a lot of things. First, if you earned your jersey and or your Dynamo jersey, reminder that is the $5,000 level. So if you raise that $1,328 or the $5,000, you will get your jerseys in there. You'll also get your rider t-shirt. In addition, you're going to get your rider bib number. Okay, that's obviously very important. We want you to have that on your jersey every day. And we're going to give you bib boards to attach that as well to your jersey. But on that bib, on the back of it is very important. It has your emergency contact number. And on the front of it also has that emergency number that if you need to call the SAG emergency line, that's also going to be on there as well. In addition to your bib, you're going to have a couple different items that have your bib number on them. One of which is going to be your bike number. So it's going to be a folded piece of paper, has a sticker, it goes over your bike, like your handle, not the handlebar, that middle bar. So you put the bike number on your bike. You're also going to, we have the helmet numbers. Those are optional, but we do include those as well. And we have luggage tags. So there's two different ways to number your to label your luggage. We suggest you do both. We have little like number loops. Those are nice to be able to see your number of your luggage from across the room. We also have luggage tags, and those are going to tell you where your dorm or hotel is each night. So this way we can easily look at what pile it needs to go to, so you can easily find your luggage at each location. So that those will also be in there, and you'll have this whole sheet of labels that you can stick on whatever you feel the need to stick on. If you have a, extra bag, or you want to put it on your water bottle, whatever you need. So those are the items that are going to be in your packet. Every once in a while, there'll be a couple other random little things in there, but those are the important ones. So you're going to get that when you get on your bus or check in to go to check in. And as Leigh-Anne mentioned, you're going to make sure that you put that bike number on your bike before loading it into the truck.
All right. So tell me more about this loading into the truck and the buses thing. You want to keep rolling, Alyssa?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
on a
going
roll.
to keep rolling.
Roll on.
Okay, so basically, as we have bus and trucks that are going to be at 3 different locations that are going to bring people from down the state all the way up to Cleveland. So if you live in the Cincinnati area, you're going to park your vehicle at Lunken Airport. It is safe. We have specified parking that is going to be for each location. Your car is there safely for 4 days. It's good to go. You're not going to end up with your car towed or anything like that. So you're going to get there at your designated time, and you're going to check in. You're going to get your packet. You're going to get your bike all set up, and then you're going to help there's going to be volunteers there as well, but help load your bike onto the Penske truck. Okay, and then you'll put your luggage on the bus with you. So the same thing is going to be happening at Wright State University and at Otterbein. So we have the designated parking, we have the specific arrival time. You're going to get that packet and get on the bus. And you're going to take that, and it's going to take you all the way up to John Carroll, where you'll go to for the kickoff dinner. So we are going to we wrap all the bikes in blankets, so they're nicely safely packed away, so you don't have to worry about your bike. And we are going to share the bus schedule as well, so you guys can all see that, but it is going to be the same as last year. If you do remember last year, we bumped those times up a little bit to allow just for a little bit more comfort and wiggle room. So we are keeping that same schedule as last year. So again, your bikes are going to go on those Penske trucks. You're going to ride on these buses to Cleveland, and that's where you'll check in for either your dorms or your hotels. Okay, so on Wednesdays, really the only day that you have to walk your luggage a decent amount of time, like a decent distance. But we try to make it as easy as possible and have the bus drop you off to get your luggage right by the dorm. So it's not too bad, I promise.
Yes.
But so you'll take your luggage, check into the dorm, and then you'll meet up over at the dining hall area for our kickoff dinner.
So, Leigh-Anne, can you talk a little more about how that works at John Carroll? Like, what if I come up on the bus from Columbus, but I'm not staying in the dorm? How do I then get to the hotel? And what do I do when I get to John Carroll?
Okay, if you're coming to John Carroll, first of all, there will be designated parking for our locals. At kickoff, there will be a close location closer to the front of the Dolan Science Center. And there's also the overnight parking that's all the way around. You'll see signs indicating where you should park. As Alyssa said, all of these places, including John Carroll, know that we'll be there and there won't be any problems with tickets or anything like that. If you're staying overnight and you're local and you're staying in the dorm, you need to go to check-in, just like all the other riders who come up from other parts of the state. If not, you're going to go to the hotel. We're still working out the details of the shuttle and or lift codes. Once we have a final answer, we'll share with you whether you're going to use a shuttle on Wednesday night or if you're going to get a lift code that lets you just take a lift to your hotel. It's going to be that easy and really simple.
So, what about my bike? If I put my bike on a truck, do I have to get it off? Or if I'm driving to John Carroll, what do I do with my bike? Bob, you want to tell us about bike storage at John Carroll?
Yeah, so as you're looking at the Dolan Science Center off to the right around the parking lot, the storage is underneath in the JCU garage. And there will be happy, friendly volunteers because they're not tired yet, who will gladly take your bike for you and put it in the storage, or they'll let you walk it back and find a home that you think is appropriate for your bike. You store it, you come out, make sure your number's on the bike because in the morning you'll need to know your number and have it on you and your bike.
Are you saying I have to come get it off the truck and put it in there?
Oh, if you're arriving, this is just for folks who drive to JCU with their own bike. They're
Okay, what if
gonna
it's on
carry
the
their bike
truck?
around. Yeah, the truck bikes will be handled by friendly volunteers. You can go in and help, which is great. Most of the time people will show up at the trucks and we prefer that because we'll roll the bikes down and sometimes people go, "Oh, that's my beautiful whatever," like X Bike 3000, and they want to put it away. We're super flexible on getting them in. We're not as flexible on getting them out.
So just to be clear though, if you are coming up on a bus and your bike went on the truck, you don't have to. It will be moved for you into storage and you can go get it out of storage in the morning if you don't need anything. We do recommend anytime your bike is going into storage or on a truck that you take everything off of it. Bob, we'll cover this in the end of the day too, but this includes too. Before you put that bike on the truck, take your water bottles off, take your computers off if you need to charge them. Don't leave your wallet in your bike bag. It might be difficult to get to once it's in storage. So don't worry about your bike. It'll come off the truck and go into storage and you can visit it in the morning. Okay. So then what else happens at John Carroll that night, Leigh-Anne? You want to walk us through the kickoff dinner festivities?
Absolutely. So we're going to start at John Carroll. You're going to either arrive on your bus and check into your dorm and chill out for a little while, or you're going to plan to arrive sometime between 4:30 and 5:30. We have a happy hour that's going to start at between 4:30 and 5, where you can get soft drinks or, adult beverages. The buffet will start at 5:30 and it will close at 8 p.m. From 6:30 to 7-ish, we'll have a guest speaker and we invite you to bring guests. This is the time when you can bring your family, introduce them to the Panohio family, bring that really special donor who's made a generous contribution, let them experience the event for themselves. Our guest speaker this year is going to be really special. We like to have people from the Hope Lodge, and this is actually going to be a real special one, I think, because her son is actually going to be a rider this year. So it's going to be a good conversation, some good socialization opportunity, and always good food.
Yes. We like to call this our family reunion. If you are new to
Mhm.
Pan Ohio, that sounds goofy. But after you are with us for 4 days, I promise Pan Ohio will feel like a family, and you will see people who have not seen each other since the finish line last year, very excitedly greeting each other. It's kickoff dinner of Pan Ohio night is one of my favorite days of the year to see everyone coming back together. So be ready to have a good time that evening. And again, all are welcome. This is not just for riders, volunteers. You are more than welcome to come, whether you're a 4-day volunteer or just volunteering for a shift somewhere on Wednesday or Thursday. If you're in the Cleveland area, feel free to join us for that. Okay, and then get a good night's sleep because we get going bright and early Thursday morning. Alyssa, what do I do Thursday morning?
All right. So when you get up on Thursday morning, there's a couple different ways you can work it, but in theory, you're going to get packed. You're going to pack all your stuff up. You're going to drop off your luggage. So outside of your dorm, there's going to be a sign, and it's going to tell you the name of different dorm rooms that are at College of Worcester. Okay, so you're going to take your luggage and you're going to put it by the sign of the dorm that you're staying at that night. So you're going to leave, Murphy Hall on Thursday morning with your luggage, and you're going to look at your luggage tag and it says, oh, Brush Hall at College of Worcester. You're going to take your luggage and you're going to drop it in the Brush Hall pile. Okay, you're going to drop off your keys. Don't forget to turn in your keys. We will hound you. There are signs that we will remind you. And if you end up, sometimes we end up getting keys for John Carroll when we get to Worcester because someone forgot it's around their neck and they rode all day with it. It's fine. Not the end of the world. Just make sure we get it back. But we will do our best to remind you to drop off your keys. Also, we are going to. Oh, I went into Bob's section. I'm so sorry. Well, I got really excited about dropping off luggage, so
You're on a
it's
roll.
fine.
Go with it.
I'm on a roll. So,
On a roll.
and just a reminder too is if you were staying at like the hotels, you're gonna bring your luggage with you check out in the morning. Bring your luggage with you either on the shuttle or via the lift passes. Again, still up in the air. We will keep you posted on that. Bring your luggage and you're gonna drop it at the hotel luggage sign. Pretty simple. Look for that hotel luggage sign, drop your luggage there. And then from there, Bob, where are they going to go? They dropped off their luggage.
Well, hopefully they dropped off their luggage, and each bag is less than 50 pounds, and it's better to have more bags and less weight than one big heavy bag. And they made sure they read where that's going because you will get your luggage back, but it might be inconvenient if you get it in the wrong pile for you and everyone else. So next, you will fuel and hydrate by going to the supplied breakfast. It's delicious, and you should eat a lot because you're going to burn a lot of calories. And then, and I recommend after, but you can do it before, go down to the garage wearing your bib, because if you don't have your bib, we have wristbands, we might have wristbands, but I know we'll have bibs, and your bib has your number on it, and your bike has your number on it. And if you have a bib that doesn't match the number on the bike that you're bringing out of storage, I'm going to assume you're trying to get a free upgrade and deny you access to that bike. So bring your bib, get your bike, line up, get ready to roll.
Line up. And if anything, if you do need anything, if you need some air in your tires, any quick adjustments, we'll have plenty of pumps at the start line for you to grab some air in your tires, and we'll have mechanic at the start line as well. So if you need a little adjustment, I do recommend when I get my bike out of storage, I like to at least take a lap around off to the side of the parking lot and make sure everything's good to go before I'm in that start line with all the people around me. So mechanics will be there. Darrell just mentioned in the chat, also put on your sunscreen after you eat, so it's not on your hands. That'd be good. We'll have hydration stations too, so make sure you got your water bottles filled up and you're all ready to go. Shove a banana in your pocket or whatever. Sunscreen, hydration, line up. What time, Leigh-Anne?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Stacy. This is really exciting. I hope people are really just on the edge of their seat because we have moved back our start time by an hour this year based on popular requests that we start a little earlier to get out before the sun gets its hottest. We are kicking off the ride with a group start at 7:30. That means lineup is at 7. Everything will be moved back accordingly. So breakfast will be starting a little earlier, bike storage will open a little earlier, things like that. But so we want everyone to start lining up at 7 for that 7:30 group start, we want our dynamos in the front because we like to recognize our dedicated fundraisers who have gone above and beyond the extra mile or so, we might say. So yeah, and then we're going to play some music and get everyone hyped and head out on the road.
7:30, go time. Yeah, I hope that helps to get an extra hour of head start. I'm also counting on it's going to be 72 and overcast with no rain for 4 days. So that's what we're going for this year. Maybe a little sun peeking through the puffy clouds that comes and goes. That's always fun. But
No
it's going
4
to be
days
cool.
straight of heat advisories.
We can help. We can help, right? Okay, so once I'm out there, where do I go? How do I know where I'm going? Darrell, do you want to talk about like how do you follow the route and what resources and tools do we have?
Well, there's actually 3 ways to follow the route. We have great signage. We have GPX files that will be available, or you can just go to Ride with GPS to the Panohio account and follow it that way if you're a use your phone on your bike person, or follow the person in front of you, because Brent's always going to be in the front. So you'll never have to worry about being in the front. No, that's not entirely true. But for the most
Good luck
part,
keeping up with him.
yeah.
If you can keep up with Brent, you can follow him the whole way.
Yeah, though I can't guarantee he won't get lost, but yeah. We have great signage out there. We have SAG. We're usually, that being Stacy and I and staff are usually floating around, volunteers at all the water stops will be able to point you in the right direction. So it's the rare person that gets lost, or at least gets lost and doesn't get found again.
Yeah, some people do a few extra miles here and there, but yeah, signage will be put out ahead of time. Usually it's if there's a turn coming up, there will be a sign leading up into the turn, a sign at the turn, and then a confirmation sign after the turn, so you know you've turned the right way. We try, if there are long straight stretches, to just throw down some, keep going straight signs so you know that you didn't miss one. And we also do have a limited number of turn-by-turn cue sheets. If you're old school and you like to see the turn right at this road and this many miles and then turn left at this road and that many miles, we won't have them for everyone because a lot of people don't care to use that, but we will have a supply of those if that's your jam. Any number of ways to not get lost out there. If you do feel like you're lost, again, like if you feel like, wow, I haven't seen a sign in a really long time and I haven't seen another rider in a really long time, that's when you might want to pick up that phone and call the SAG line just to say, am I on route still? Hopefully you are, and if you're not, they will come scoop you up and drop you back on the route somewhere. So we won't leave you hanging out there. We got you. We support you every step of the way. So like, Alyssa, like, do I need to stuff my pockets full of snacks before I go and like bring a Camelback and 7 water bottles, or what are you going to do to help me while I'm out there riding?
So thankfully to our wonderful volunteers, we have supported water stops all throughout the route. So about every 10 to 20 miles, we have a water stop that is not just your average like hydration station, right? So we have all the things you can imagine. We've got the water and the electrolytes. We've got some snacks, right? But not only do we have snacks, we have salty snacks, we have sweet snacks, we have usually some type of gummy snack or something. We've got all different kinds of things. And it changes a little bit year to year based on people's feedback. We have pickle juice. It's not always at every single stop. Usually we try to have it at stops, lunch and beyond. But it is out there. We have chamois butter. Okay. But as I mentioned before, and I will say it again, bring your own. There's never enough, no matter what we do. Every year I feel like our donation doubles and we still don't have enough. So bring your chamois butter, your butt butter, your nut butter, whatever you call it. Bring it with you. All right. But we have water, electrolytes. We suggest to bring 2 water bottles. That's kind of the standard, it seems. And people usually put like electrolytes in one and water in the other. Just a reminder, when you get to a water stop, the volunteers will ask you to remove your gloves. It is a no glove zone. Our volunteers will fill up your water bottles for you. Sweaty, gross, snotty gloves, or we try to keep them out of the food areas. We also do have fresh fruit as well at each of the stops. Cool thing is every day we have a lunch stop. It is a full catered lunch. We do have a lot of people that tell us you will not lose weight on this ride, even though you are burning all these hundreds of thousands of calories every day, because you are going to be eating very well. Delicious catered lunches. Make sure you get the chips from corporate caterers day 2, 3, and 4. Actually, I think they just have them on day 2 now, but don't forget those. So one thing that is has become a sore spot over the years is on day 2, we have what has been so lovingly named the poop trail. If you're not familiar, Amish country, we share those trails, cyclists and horse-drawn carriages. So there are horses on the trail at times. I don't think too often our riders are running into horses, but they're running into a lot of poop. And not too bad on a nice hot day, but on those rainy days where we're splashing through the puddles, it's a little messy. So we will have bike and bottle wash stations at the lunch at Danville. We're going to have additional water bottles and bottle caps that will be available upon request if you need a spare. Again, it's going to be this perfect weather this year. We're not going to have any issues, no splash and poop. It'll be fine. But we do have that to look forward to is the bike wash and then the bottle swap.
Darrell
Also,
had a
one
hand
big.
up real quick. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So since it's a no glove zone and I'm just handing my water bottle over to volunteers, I hate Gatorade, and I hate it when I give them and I just want water and they fill it up with Gatorade and then I have sticky Gatorade all over my bottle for the rest of the day. Got anything to say about that?
Yeah, so I do. We are working on a cool swap this year. And it is almost 100% officially happening that we are going to be getting electrolyte packets instead of Gatorade jug. So we'll have jugs of water. You can fill it up and then add in your own electrolytes to whatever you want. So highly recommend bringing, again, a lot of you are training with certain electrolytes that you like. They're also convenient in the little packets now. I do highly recommend you bring your own. However, we are going to be supplying a lot of the mini packets this year, some different variety, and we're still kind of working through all the details on that. But hopefully you won't have any yucky, sticky, icky Gatorade sloshing everywhere this year.
One other thing on water bottles, it is helpful when you come up to the station, if you just take the lid off your water bottle and hand the volunteer your water bottle with the lid off of it. That makes it more efficient for the water bottles to get filled by the volunteers. Again, they will fill for you, so everyone's not touching the spigots on the things with their snotty hands. But if you take your own water bottle cap off, hand them the bottle, let them know. They'll probably ask you if you want ice. Can say yes or no, and they'll fill it with water and then offer you a variety of electrolyte packets that you can choose to add as much or as little as you want.
Yeah. I did see another question in the chat about a charging station, which is a great question. We actually do have a charging station that we bring with us to lunch each day. So we can't guarantee that there's charging abilities at every water stop. A lot of them do have something you can plug into, but we do have the full charging station at lunch every day. So if you need to do a quick charge up, we have that ability.
Yeah, it's cool. And it'll be a campus at check-in at the end of the day. Now, what if I have dietary restrictions? What if I'm like you said, there's a lunch every day.
Yeah,
is there something for me to eat if I need gluten-free or vegan food or other dietary restrictions?
So when you signed up, you did in your transportation and lodging, we verified your dietary restrictions. And so one big thing I will say is please make sure that if you don't see a gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian option, maybe if you're kosher, maybe whatever that may be, if you don't see it, just first ask the caterer, because if a lot of time they'll just kind of keep them in the back, right? They'll keep the gluten-free, those dietary restriction options in the back so that someone that really thinks that veggie wrap looks great doesn't take it from someone who literally cannot eat the other options, right? So just ask the caterers. They're very friendly. They're always willing to help out. If for some reason you ask and they don't have it, please, as quick as possible, have a volunteer contact a staff. We will make sure you have food. We are not allowing people to go hungry. If something got messed up, if there's a situation and there's not a dietary restriction, I will personally go get you what you need. So please make sure to communicate. We do not want someone to be like afraid to speak up because they didn't have a gluten-free meal and you went hungry. That's not what we want to do.
Not
So
okay to go hungry on Panohio.
a lot of people like to bring their own things too. There are certain people on certain diets and they bring their meals and their foods, and that's great too. More than welcome to do that. But just so you know, we got you.
You got you. All right. What if I need other kinds of support during the ride? I know we mentioned briefly that there's emergency number to call, but like when or why would I maybe want to call that? What can they do? What kind of help can they provide?
So we have this amazing team of volunteers called Support and Gear, or SAG for short. When you hear us talk about SAG, it means Support and Gear. And in addition to a bunch of amazing people who are at a command center as well as riding along the route, there's what's called a sweep driver and a sweep rider. These are people who are at the very end of the line, so they make sure that they're behind the last rider. So we know where the last rider is at all times, and we know where everyone in between is, basically. If you get lost, if you get injured, if you feel ill or exhausted, if you're showing signs of heat exhaustion or dehydration, any of those things, or if you're experiencing a mechanical issue, talk to SAG. You can either flag them down if you happen to see them, or you can call that number that we shared. They will be able to get you help, get you to the next water stop, or get you some supplies. For example, they carry snacks and water with them. They have an air pump. They'll usually have a few extra tubes available. You'll still have to put it on your bike because most of our SAGs are not cyclists. They are, in fact, ham radio operators and things like that. So they would still require you to put it on your bike, but they have some extra supplies that you can use. As I said, they'll drive you to the next water stop where you can get more help if your bike needs more mechanical work. If you're not feeling well and you just need to rest, they'll take you to a stop where there's a mechanic who can help you, or they may, in case of an emergency, contact either our ambulance company, our paramedics that follow along, or they may contact a local hospital through 911. Of course, if you are experiencing an emergency or someone you are with is experiencing an emergency, we encourage you to use your best judgment. If you think you need to call 911 for a health emergency, please do so. And then call SAG and let them know that you've called. We do this for two reasons. One is because SAG may actually have someone closer to you than the local ambulance, so they might be able to get to the person faster to render aid. And it allows us to know where a rider is and if they're in danger or, facing a health crisis, so they can keep track of that. Because as I said, our goal is no rider left behind. We have riders, we have to keep track of where all of our riders are at all times. And we may not be able to pinpoint you on a map at any time, but we can say, these 10 riders went through this last water stop. These are the last numbers. We try and keep track of all of that so that we know you're healthy and wealthy and safe and everything else. I can't promise wealthy,
right on.
but
I was say I'm going to get wealthy. All right.
I know, right?
You'll be richly rewarded with the experience of riding
in an
Panohio.
emotional sense, in a
Yes,
health sense.
It's very rewarding. Absolutely.
Yes, it's very rewarding to ride Panohio.
Well,
And that,
I just
again,
want to
is the number.
reiterate that is the number. I want to reiterate what Leigh-Anne said about if you don't see SAG called, don't just wait for them to pass. I had someone comment to me a year or two ago that it doesn't seem like we have as many SAG drivers as we used to. And I do remember in the early days of Panohio, especially if you were in the back part of the pack, SAGs would be passing all the time because they were just driving up and down the route. And as that route got shorter and shorter, as you got closer, it felt like you constantly saw SAGs, and that doesn't happen anymore. And that's by design. So our SAGs don't move as much as they used to, and it's for a couple of reasons. Most of them are actually stationed. You will pass a lot of them sitting at intersections. They have key intersections they sit in, maybe a place that needs more visibility. A lot of times they're sitting out there with clicker counters, seeing how many riders have gone by. So they're less mobile than they used to be. Also in part because we don't want to create more traffic on the roads you're riding. So we, it's like they're just extra cars trying to pass cyclists. So we decided at some point that's kind of silly. So they tend to be a little more stationary. If you do see them driving, they will probably be driving in the opposite direction of the route so that they'll be coming toward you. So sometimes it's harder to see. So don't wait for one to pass you. Pick up the phone and call it. Like I said, that number, you should have it in your phone by now, but it's also on everyone's bib. So Leigh-Anne mentioned mechanical issues. Bob, so we do have people that can help with those along the way too?
Absolutely. So I've spent about 20 years in the endurance space and about 15 of that with my own store. So I knew these guys before, but we've got Dave and Chet, both experienced bike guys, up to speed on pretty much everything that's out there. As bikes have evolved, so have they. They're kind of like the continuing evolution of man. They're going to be available at lunch, at random water stops along the route. And they'll have pretty much everything they need to get your bike going. But that said, they have a finite supply. So on the basics, be courteous and bring your own stuff. And you can say, hey, Bob, I don't know how to change a tire on my new bike with a through axle and disc brakes. And I say, that's okay. We'll use your stuff and fix your bike with your stuff. That way, SAG maintains a good supply for somebody who either broke their stuff or gave it to somebody else because they were a swell person. So even if you have your stuff, even if you don't know how to use your stuff, bring your stuff. We'll use your stuff.
You're on mute.
I did the thing, Alyssa. I'm with you. There had to be one. There had to be two. If you've been around Panohio for any number of years, you know Chet. He's been with us since I think the second year of the ride, maybe. He's been along every single year. Dave joined us about 3 or 4 years ago and has been with us for the past few years. So they will be at the start line every day. They will be at lunch every day. They will be at the finish line every day. And then at some of the water stops too. They tend to leapfrog stops, trying to stay with the massa riders. So again, if you have an issue and you're between stops, call the SAG. They may not be able to come to you, but the SAG can take you to where the closest mechanic is at any time. So the other support thing we have, I'm just going to roll through this one. If you feel like you're, if you know anyone, I know we're kind of past recruiting, but there are a lot of people that are like, Panohio sounds fun, but I don't want to ride 80 to 100 miles a day. I want to make sure that everyone knows about the Panohio Express Bus. So this is our new half-day option that we started a few years ago where people can ride 40 to 50 miles to that lunch stop, and that becomes their daily finish line. So their goal is to ride half of each day, get to lunch, they check in. We're going to have a Panohio Express manager. It will be the same person all 4 days. So you'll check in with the Panohio Express manager, say, I'm here, I'm taking the bus. You'll put your bike on the bike rack that has the signs for Panohio Express on it, and you'll hang out and get your lunch and relax and know that you did it and you made your goal for the day. When lunch is done, a bus will come by, scoop up all the Panohio Express people. The truck will have unloaded the luggage and it will come back to lunch and scoop up all the Panohio Express bikes and bring them to bike storage at the end of the day. If you did not sign up for that, but you feel like you're having a rough morning and you get to lunch, you're like, I don't know if I can do the rest of the day, check in with the Panohio Express manager. There are some additional spots on the bus available. So they'll put you on the list. If they have a spot, they'll put you on it. If they don't have a spot, they'll put you on a waiting list. If you signed up for the bus and you're having an awesome day and you get to lunch, you're like, hey, wait, I want to keep riding. That's cool too. Still ask that you please check in with the Panohio Express manager so they can cross your name off the list and potentially give your spot to someone else. So again, we won't leave anyone behind. But yeah, if you signed up and you want to continue, go for it. Just let us know. If you didn't sign up and you want to ride, just let us know and we will fit you in if we can. If we have more people than fit on the bus, then we will just use the SAGs to transport the rest of the people. We won't leave anyone behind, but again, this doesn't replace SAG. They're still available. If you want to break, but you don't want to go to the finish line, you're like, hey, I just want to skip ahead to the next water stop. That's cool. We'll get you in a SAG that can take you forward to stop, and then you can keep going. But otherwise, Panohio Express will take you to the daily finish line on days 1, 2, and 3. On day 4, the Panohio Express will let everyone out at a little staging area parking lot that's like maybe a 1/10 of a mile from the finish line. It's honestly not far. You're going to ride down the last street together so that everyone can have that experience of riding across the final finish line on Sunday. So again, if you feel like that's a good option for you, maybe you didn't train as much as you hoped, or maybe you're just not having the greatest day, No problem. We got you. We want everyone to complete the ride. Kathleen Bond, our founding co-chair, always said everyone will complete this ride. Some of you may do it on 4 wheels instead of 2, and that's fine. You can add a couple extra wheels during the day if you want. We didn't have a bus. How many wheels are on a bus? Is that like 8 wheels down? I don't know. However many wheels are on a bus, you can finish on that many too. So, what if it's, I guess, Darrell, maybe you can talk to us a little bit about, are there any circumstances where we would have to close the ride? And if so, like, what do we look at for things like that?
Absolutely not. The weather's going to be perfect. It's going to be the
Right.
greatest day. We will have no
Not
problem.
4 days of heat advisories.
But on a different year, on a different ride. No, as we all know, this is Ohio. So we could have 4 seasons, 5 seasons, 8 seasons. I don't know how many seasons are there. We could have all of them in one day. We could have all of them in one afternoon. And since we are a pack of over 200 riders at sometimes, we could be stretched out over 20 or 30 miles. So some riders might be experiencing an entirely different season than other riders on our route. And we are constantly monitoring the weather and all of the conditions as they come and go. And we have a flag system, which will be at the water stops. I think are we going back to flags on segment?
Water.
Well, nobody
just
sees
at the water stops,
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Though the SAGs will be aware of the conditions as well. And that will tell you green, everything's great, yellow, be aware, red, things are bad, but we're not shutting down the course. So use your own discretion, whether or not you want to stop for a while and let whatever the condition is pass. And then black means everyone is, black probably means the day is done for everyone.
Of course, is closed. Yeah. Not always. Black could be temporary if it's a condition that will pass. If it's for heat, we're done.
Yeah. And red could also mean hold in place at that water stop until you get yellow again. It's all very complicated because, like I said, one water stop could be experiencing, and then has experiencing a completely different weather situation from another water stop. So if the next water stop along the way is in a red situation and you're at the one behind it and it's a bright sunny day and it's wonderful and everything looks great and everyone's telling you that you have to wait, it might seem crazy, but it could be because there's a tornado between you and the next water stop. So we do have reasons. We have reasons why we do this. And it's all to keep you safe, and it's also to keep the volunteers safe because they're out there for hours. They're not moving. They don't have that great evaporative cooling of being on a bike and passing through shade and going by fields with wind. They're stuck in place. And we're really concerned about heat exhaustion from our volunteers. So that's basically it.
Yeah. So with that, sometimes something that's told to you may not make sense to you from where you are. But like Darrell said, trust that there are reasons and that the reasons are for rider and volunteer safety. So with that, there's going to be a volunteer standing in front of you at that water stop saying, hey, sorry, folks, course is closed. Moose out front should have told you. They got.
I'm so glad you said that. That made my night.
Sorry, folks.
He says it all the time. It's one of our.
What that means is that Darrell or I or Paul or Chris or one of the other staff members or our SAG leads have, wherever they are and with whatever information they had, determined that it is not safe at this moment for you to go forward. The volunteer standing in front of you didn't make that decision. So please treat that volunteer with respect. I know that sometimes that can be frustrating. You want to go, 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 and you don't see any reason why you can't. Or maybe you're like, no, I'm acclimated to the heat. I can handle it. It doesn't matter, right? It's for everyone's safety as a group that there is a reason we're keeping. We have had situations before where there was a temporary road closure because of a police incident. And Darrell and I got there. And I can tell you nothing makes your heart stop faster than coming around a turn that you know is on your course and seeing it closed by police. It had nothing to do with our ride, but there was an incident that had that road temporarily closed. There was not an easy detour. We talked to them. They said we should be clearing this up soon. So we asked riders at the water stop before that to just hold for like 30 minutes until that got cleared up and that they could move forward. So people at the water stop didn't understand why we were closing it. And they're like, we want to go. We want to get done. I get it. You're hot. You're frustrated. You want to finish your ride. But just please keep in mind that volunteer in front of you is not the one making that decision. They are the messenger. So if you have questions about a decision, there is a short list of people that you're allowed to question. And that's me and Darrell and Bob and Alyssa and Leigh-Anne and Chris and Paul. Anyone else? That's pretty much the list, right? So
Yeah.
the thing you should say to the volunteers, thank you. Where's Stacy's phone number? I gotta call and ask about this. That's fine, right? Feel free to call staff, call us. We'll help you figure that out. But
Yeah,
I'll just
and I just
reiterate
want
what
to
Darrell said. There's reasons.
Yeah, I want to reiterate and add on to what you said. The reasons that the route might be paused for a while often have nothing to do with weather. So
Right.
you can't look up to the sky and try to figure out why someone is telling you this. We had a situation just a few years ago where the day before we got to a section of road, they had scraped it all up. And we had a number of riders that once they hit the end of that scrape and they came back up to the level surface, had flat tires. So we were looking for an alternative to that. So we didn't just end up with 40 flat tires. And that resulted in us holding people for a period of time at a previous water stop until we could get a mechanic right out to that exact spot. So very often the reason that we will hold you at a spot doesn't have anything to do with the weather. It could be anything. But we want everybody to finish. We need everybody to finish because all your stuff's at the finish line that we don't want. We need you to get your stuff.
You there. We'll get you there. There was a question in the chat about whether or not we're using the WBGT again, the wet bulb globe temperature. I mean, yes, all the details of this will be in the guidebook too. So we don't totally nerd out. You can read about it, but it's the wet bulb globe temperature. It's a calculated thing that is a combination of temperature and humidity and cloud cover and wind speed and all the things that, it's not just the heat index. It's a little bit different than that takes a bunch of factors into consideration. It's what the U.S. military typically uses. They have thresholds. We are reevaluating whether or not we had the right thresholds last year because there were a couple days where in some areas it was a little crazy. So all of the details on that will be in the guidebook. So more to come on that, but please read that thoroughly. And again, bottom line, just listen to the communication of the people on event day and know that everything is to make sure that everybody finishes safely. So let's talk about safety a little more. I know we could have a whole hour talk on safety, and we have. I just want to throw out a plug too. Like, we are touching on some of these topics, and we have entire webinars that we've done in the past on things like what Bob's about to talk about. So Bob, could you give us a little quick overview on how to ride safely? Like, are we on closed roads? What are we doing?
So we are not on closed roads and we're not on closed trails. We have none of this to ourselves. So we have to share the road or the trail with lots of other people because we may think it's a bike trail, but it's a multi-use trail, which means people walking dogs on extendo leashes, they're allowed to use the trail. And kids on tricycles going left to right, like paperboying on flat ground, they're allowed to use the trail. So I think the big thing is we talked about communication as a rider, learn your audience and communicate appropriately. Like if you're in traffic, use hand and arm signals, make eye contact with that driver, make sure they see you before you do the turn. The big thing is we want to make sure that we do things to make us safe. And now it includes lights. I prefer front and rear flashing lights. If you can get a Garmin Varia, those things are worth their weight in gold. They're the little radars. There's some knockoff versions now that are pretty good. Mirrors, a lot of guys like mirrors. I'm a big fan of that, especially if you're one of those people who isn't comfortable letting go of the bar and you turn your head like this because you can take out multiple people while you head check. I think calling out things, you'll get this. And if you're new to this and you get picked up with a group, you're going to pick up on some of the lingo and some of the things. Like with my friends, I'll flick an elbow when I want them to go. I'll just point down with a finger if there's something they need to know that is in the way so that if they're really close and in the draft, they don't hit something that's just off to my left or right. And you don't swerve really fast. You talk to your people and go, I'm braking. I'm going to stand up. It's all about being courteous and kind and, that especially comes true at some certain choke points. There's a town, Stacy. It's not the town of Stacy, but I know she'll remember it.
Loveland?
Yes. So.
Yeah, and I think to go with that, Bob mentioned people in the draft. We do recommend not forming real tight pace lines, especially if you're with people that you are not used to riding with. If you have your riding buddies that you ride with every week and you are on flat open country roads, I get it. But please don't do things like that on the trail. Again, out of courtesy to the other trail users, we ask that you not form pace lines. Ride safely. This is not a race. Bob's talking about his drafting. It's not a race. It's a ride. It's a tour. You have all day to get there most days. We'll talk about cutoff times later, but safety first. So there's lots of tips in the guidebook again. So check your guidebook. If you don't know what the hand signals are, they're in the guidebook. There's lots of safety tips. Leigh-Anne posted the link up there to our enrichment series. It's a series of videos that we did. It's kind of started during COVID when we couldn't meet in person, but we have this great library of people talking about great topics that are more helpful. Post, hole, things that don't rhyme, pole, hole, what are they saying? Calling things out, making your intent known. Darrell always says the best thing to do is just be predictable so that everyone knows what to expect from you and you are not making any sudden stops or sudden turns or anything. And if you do, you tell people slowing, stopping, whatever. Bob mentioned Loveland. Last year we did add a route to what's the word I'm looking for? To get around Loveland on road instead of through the trail. Circumvent, bypass. I'm not really circumventing it or bypass. If you are a faster rider or riding with a large group of people, we do ask that you leave the trail at the monkey bar after that water stop and take the road bypass around Loveland before rejoining the trail. If you are a slower, calmer rider or riding in groups of just maybe you and a buddy, and you want to continue on the trail through Loveland and stop for ice cream, that's cool. You can do that. But keep in mind, it is very pedestrian heavy. So only if you're really a very slow casual rider should you go through there. Otherwise, you should take the road bypass. Chris has a hand.
Yes, just really quick, I want to reiterate that this community is awesome. They are very good with hand signals and pointing things out. They will even do that when they're not on bikes, as I remember from Wright State University, when somebody had spilled, I think, coffee on the floor, and I watched 4 consecutive cyclists in their bike jerseys on Sunday morning walk past the coffee spill and point out with their right finger to give an indication. Mind you, there were no bikes in the cafeteria. Everybody was walking on 2 feet. But I really wish I'd had my camera out to capture it, because they were acting as if they were on a bike and pointing out everybody's safety.
Hey, when that's all you do for 4 days, you're in the mindset. One other thing I'll just note quickly, obviously riding safely is not only for safety, but that courtesy to other riders. Do remember that when you are on the Pan Ohio Hope Ride, you represent the Pan Ohio Hope Ride and the American Cancer Society, especially on day 4 when we're all wearing the same jersey. So if you do something rude to a trail rider or to a car, or you tick someone off, remember that there's 100 other riders coming behind you that look just like you, and you don't want that driver to get impatient with the next riders because you did something that wasn't courteous. So you represent ACS and Pan Ohio, please represent well. And remember, it's not a race, it's a ride. We want everyone to arrive safely, and we want to do it well. So Loveland bypass will be marked. Yeah, that is the standard trail, Nathan. That's a great question. So that will be signed with the same signs as the rest of the route. And there will be signs there at that decision point too, just reminding people this is the road option, or the trail option is just continuing the trail. The road option will join the trail again later. So that's what's in store for you during the day. Then you get to the end of the day and you're arriving at campus, rode your own pace getting there. Leigh-Anne, what do you do when you get to campus at the end of the day?
Yeah, whether it's you've ridden a half a day, a full day, or somewhere in between, when you arrive at campus, you are going to arrive to cheers. We're going to have people who are applauding your efforts. At one campus in particular, as we've mentioned, the lovely Poop Trail, if there has been a need, we will also have bike cleaning stations that will allow you to rinse off your bike completely and shine it all up. But it won't be necessary because we've already put in our request for perfect weather. When you get there, after you have crossed that finish line or really run under the finish arch, you will continue on with your bike to bike storage. Most people like to get their bike into bike storage right away.
Yeah. When you take your bike to bike storage, how much should come off of it? Like, do I take off my lights?
Everything.
What about my water bottles?
Take everything off your bike.
What about my handlebar bag?
Take everything off your bike.
If I have my helmet, can I strap it to there?
Off your bike.
I like to keep my shoes with my bike. Can I do that? Okay, so everything.
Everything.
Even
everything
my phone.
off your bike. And I'm gonna offer you guys a tip. This is what I do. If you've ever been environmentally conscious or even just gotten free stuff, there are these great nylon bags that roll up into themselves. They fit perfectly in a jersey pocket or one of those little bags you put on your bike. I highly recommend getting one of those or grabbing them from your closet or wherever you stash those freebies. Put it in your jersey pocket, put it in your bag, your bike bag. When you get to bike storage, take everything off your bag and put it in that little bag. Now you've got a easy to carry. You're not trying to balance your Garmin and your water bottles and your helmet and all of this as you're going. And now you're going to go check in for your key. And then you got to put the key in your mouth. Put it all in a bag. That's one of my favorite tips, was to grab one of those when I was leaving for the ride, put it in my jersey pocket, and I always had it. And it's great for sag too, because really you should take everything off your bike that could be damaged if you end up sagging and they throw your bike on the back. Well, they don't throw it. They're very gentle, but you don't want to leave your water bottles or your Garmin out there flapping, as they're driving you away. You're going to put that in a bag, and it's a lot easier to manage. But so you've dropped off your bike at bike storage. Exactly, Darrell. Exactly. I love them. And like I said, they're squishy. They fit in a jersey pocket, no problem. You can squeeze them even into the little tiniest of bags that you put on your bike. But you're going to head from bike storage. You're probably going to want to get cleaned up. So you're going to start by checking in and getting your key. You may have to get a door pass as well. Some of the dorms have actual keys. Some have key cards. You're going to check in and grab those. You're going to head over to your dorm and you're going to look for your luggage. Our wonderful volunteers have unloaded your luggage that weighs less than 50 pounds, and they've put it in the dorm lobby in rider number order. To make it easy to find. Now, we can't guarantee it stays in that order, because depending on how early or late you come in, someone may have shifted things around. If you're a late person like me, it's really easy because there's like 2 bags left and they're mine. But at least when I was riding. Now I don't. I actually carry my own luggage. Hotel folks, you're going to find all of the hotel luggage is by the shuttle stop. So you're going to grab it, jump on the shuttle, head over to the hotel. Now, I mentioned that you can do full days, half days, anywhere in between. I'm going to tell you, you are welcome to ride all day, almost every day. So we know people ride at their own pace. That for some people, that's 3 hours, and we're saying hi, Brent, before we even get the luggage off the truck. Some people take 8, 9, me. And so you might be rolling in at after dark. Probably not after dark, but you know what I mean. But on Saturday night, when we have our big shindig, our recognition celebration, we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to come in from the route, to wash up, smell pretty, look pretty, all those things. So if you have not finished by 5 p.m., you have not passed the last water stop by 4 p.m., you will be sagged to Wright State University. And that allows not just our riders to get in by 5 so that they can shower and get comfortable and everything else, but it allows our volunteers who want to, freshen up and stuff and have dinner and then attend the recognition celebration. It allows them to come in. The next time that happens is going to be Sunday, when we're trying to get everyone to the Lunken Airport in time to catch their buses back home. So we want everyone to finish the ride by 3 on Sunday afternoon. That means you have to be through the last water stop by 2 p.m. or you will be sagged to Lunkin Terminal. Again, Stacy mentioned that's the end. I think she mentioned it. The end of the road by the airport. So you can actually ride through the finish line. We won't bring you all the way to the finish. On typical days, if you sag into the campus, you will actually be dropped at campus. But on Sunday, you can be dropped down the street and then you can ride that last half a mile or so into that. And so those are our only 2 restrictions. The other 2 days of the ride, you are welcome to ride as late as you feel comfortable. And we will have someone waiting for you with open arms, probably an open bottle of something, maybe water, maybe a chocolate milk, maybe something else. So the important thing is for you to have fun and be safe.
So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more. Maybe pickle juice, sure, in the chat. What else is waiting for us at campus? Like, Bob, when I get there, what else can I do after I've taken everything off my bike and put it in bike storage? What else can I
highly
afford
recommend
to?
a shower. A shower is a wonderful thing to refresh yourself, and it's especially important before you enter the recovery zone because every year we have ample supply of compression boots and percussion massagers, and they're wonderful. And we have volunteers who will get you hooked up in the order of your arrival, and everybody gets equal time, about 15 minutes with the compression boots. And it's really nice if you don't smell bad for the person who has to follow you. So shower, massage boots, percussion massager, and while you're there, you can imbibe in like a recovery drink, like a real one, maybe a protein shake, or like some snacks to bring up the blood sugar levels again. Then you can go outside and do the other stuff that people do after they're there. But let's make sure you're fully recovered and ready for the after party before you start the after party.
Beer is a recovery drink too, Bob. You do you. You make your choices. Yeah, like as everywhere, we will have an ample supply of chocolate milk, protein drinks, water, electrolyte drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. So we will have some NA beer, some real beer, some wine, whatever you like, we'll have it for you. Alyssa, what else do we have out there? You're muted. Okay, that's twice. You're muted, Alyssa.
Ay, 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 I'm so sorry. Well, we definitely like a happy hour. So every day you get back to college and there's a happy hour. So usually we have some light like appetizers, some veggie trays or fruit or some little hors d'oeuvres, usually something delicious. And then again, the recovery drinks, and then there's alcoholic and NA beverages as well. So we do invite you to hang out, indulge, partake, and just kind of, hang out as long as you'd like. And then happy hour kind of dissolves right into dinner. So dinner is at the campus cafeterias every night. And there's usually a very wide variety of options. Some nights more than others, but all the food is amazing. And then on Friday, when we are at Otterbein, there's something called Fourth Friday. It's their Fourth Friday festival, and it happens in Uptown. So they don't have downtown, they have Uptown. It's literally like, I don't know, a quarter mile down up the road. And it's from 6 to 9 p.m. Little local vendors and shops, and just a really fun atmosphere. Great, way to shake up the evening. And then every night we also have a post-dinner after party on campus. So definitely want to check those out. Worcester is always a good time. There's a DJ and some karaoke. This year we have some other fun surprises in store for everybody. So yeah, we always have a good time. But then Saturday evening is a little bit different. Stacy, you want to tell everybody a little bit about our Saturday night?
Sure. Yeah, Saturday evening's a special night. So like Alyssa said, we are going to have dinner in the cafeteria every night. That includes Saturday night. So as you finish, as you're with your teams, you can go get dinner whenever it's convenient for you and when you're hungry. And then after dinner, we're going to meet at Wright State for our big recognition celebration. So we're going to have drinks, we're going to have desserts, and we're going to have a celebration presentation for about an hour from 7 to 8. So after dinner, we'll have the drinks and desserts set up around 6:30. Presentation starting at 7 until 8, and then after party in those rooms across the hall from 8. until as long as anyone wants to stay awake. So it is really fun. We're going to have some great things in store this year, celebrating 20 years of Pan Ohio. So you don't want to miss it. Yeah, grab your dinner early if you want. Take a nap if you need to, so you can come and feel refreshed. Just enjoy that last night together as we celebrate our top fundraisers and our top teams, and really the 20 years of hope that we've spread. So really looking forward to the recognition this year. Hope you'll all join us. Again, as with kickoff, everyone is welcome. Riders, volunteers, if you're a 4-day volunteer or even a 1-day volunteer and you want to come join us for that, absolutely feel free to come join us there at Bright States. So then, yeah,
So I'm
day
sorry.
4, what are we doing then when we get into Cincinnati? Darrell, you want to talk a little bit about finish line experience and what can people expect at the final finish line?
If I can come off mute. Okay, so like last year, we will be finishing at Lunken Airfield in Hangar 2. Hangar 2. Oh, now it wants me to use okay, I got distracted by the thing. And that is a private event space. It's also an airplane hangar. So we have an area that is all our own to do our own thing with. We'll have music going on. We'll have drinks. We'll have food. We'll have party and socializing. Invite your friends. Invite your family. All the volunteers should come and hang out. We have a big party at the end. And then once you're all partied out and ridden out, we put you on a bus if you're going home to Dayton or Columbus or Cleveland, and then you usually fall asleep on the bus, and then you wake up and you fetch your bike and you fetch your car and you go home and you've had a great time and you tell everybody about it.
Quick note too, like if you want to gather up with your team and you've gotten separated, you can also stop. We've mentioned a couple times where the Pan Ohio Express bus drops off, where the SAG drops off. It's just down the road. There's a little parking lot at the terminal. If you want to wait there and gather up in groups, we are not doing formal group escorts across the finish line, but it's fun if you want to gather with a group and have a group to come across that finish line. But Bob, like we're having people. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Darrell.
Oh yeah, no, I want to do a callback. Number 42 callback here. The reason you bring a towel is because we have a shower truck at the finish line. So bring some fresh clothes, bring your towel, jump in the shower truck, get all nice and clean. Bob likes it when you're clean, and then you smell like a rose when you get on that bus with everyone else, and you ride home, and you're not all sticking to each other because we all know how fun that is.
Yeah. What about bikes, Bob? What do we do with the bikes when we get to the finish line?
So from your volunteer perspective, we want the bikes right away. It keeps the area clear for people walking. You're not walking around with a bike. You don't have to carry it to the shower. You don't have to escort it. So as soon as you cross the finish line, if you roll to the truck that has your destination on it and load your bike, then it's out of the way. Then you can do all those wonderful things that Darrell suggested, with one addition. If you think about it, tuck a large plastic bag into your jersey pocket so that when you go to the shower, your wet towel storage unit is right there in your jersey pocket. It's pro tip. So yeah, that's it.
Pro tips. And again, like we will have some towels available. As with everything else, we do have some towels at the shower truck, but it's helpful if at least some of you or most of you bring your own. Plus, they're not the greatest towels. So if you like your fluffy towel, go ahead and bring it. And then, yeah, I feel like Darrell's kind of already covered party photography. We may have some merch sales. We'll have merch for sale here and there throughout the ride. Not sure if we're going to have it at finish line yet. Sometimes it's a lot to drag out at Cincinnati for a short time. So we'll definitely have it Saturday night. If you want to buy some Pan Ohio merch, we'll have it at kickoff and on Saturday night. But Sunday is just the celebration of a job well done. And then, Leigh-Anne, how do I get back?
You are going to get back on the same kind of buses you came to Cleveland on. It is very, very important to pay attention to the signs. When you are coming to Cleveland, there's only one bus picking you up, so it's hard to get on the wrong one. So it's very important at the finish line that you look for the bus with your town name on it and put your luggage on the correct bus and then get on the correct bus. Once you're on it, you can relax, sleep, laugh. We provide meals for Cleveland and Columbus folks because they have a longer ride ahead of them. And as we know, you've been burning 3, 4, 5,000 calories a day. Your system is all revved up. Your metabolism is going, so you may be hungry before you even get back to Cleveland or Columbus. So we do put a little lunchbox together for you. We encourage people to grab a water on their way onto the bus and things like that. We also encourage the buddy system. If you have a buddy who came with you on the bus, kind of look around and make sure they're there before you leave, or that you've talked to them and they've said, no, I've got a ride going back, I'm good. Because we don't want someone coming out of a shower truck or something and suddenly everyone's gone, which never happens because the crew stays there for well over an hour after everyone leaves. But it is good to make sure that everybody you came with is recognized. You know, you're seeing them on the bus going back, or you know where they're going, so that like I said, you're on the right bus. You haven't made a mistake. And it has happened. We have occasionally seen someone run off the bus and go, oops, I meant to be on that bus. So
we'll double check before it leaves. Everybody's on the Columbus bus, right? Or do you mean if you don't intend to go to Columbus, please get off this bus right now. We'll get you sorted. We'll get you where you're going. You will get back to wherever your parked car was waiting for you. And you will drive home and you will have the best sleep of your life with the knowledge that you've done a great thing. And that's Pan, Ohio. So
and let's talk about that great thing, Stacy.
Let's talk about that great thing. Yeah, right now, I mentioned before, our fundraising is ahead year over year. Our current, so this is about the time we start publishing our average raise per participant. You all know that the requirement minimum to ride this ride is $1,328 as a 4-day rider, but we're always really proud of the fact that our riders go way beyond the minimum. Our average raise per rider right now, as of midnight last night, was $1,733.67, which is $194 ahead of where we were a month out last year. So our average raise per rider usually goes north of 3,000, close to 3,500, which is awesome. You know, but leading the way with our dynamos that raise over 5,000. Obviously, if you're new, like, don't stress out about that. You don't have to. You only need the 1328. But I feel like people really embrace this, and we're so proud of how much we raise with the few riders that we have. So keep that going. We will ask you to commit to that 1328, though. You don't have to have it in order to ride. You have until August 31st to raise that minimum, and we're not going to charge you. Like, we don't do that, but we will ask you on July 1st, if you've not raised that, to just say, like, verbally commit or sign something to commit to, yes, I intend to raise 1328 between now and August 31st. So that's all I got for you. I'm going to flip back to the slides. Does anyone have questions that we didn't cover through all of that? I'm going to go back and share this screen again in case anyone didn't get those numbers. Wait, it went down a slide. Okay, is that sharing? Share, share, share. There it is. Share. Question. Yeah, Brandon, we have a whole other session, Volunteer 101, coming up July 7th, that will cover everything as well as the guidebook. But July 8th, sorry, it was close. Thank you, everyone. Here's the numbers again. Get those in your phone,
good.
and they'll be in the guidebook. Awesome. Couple other communications things again, prompt.io, look for that, what 3 words, you know, we talked about a little bit, but just to remind you to look out for those things. We talked about course markings too. Darrell talked about the routes being marked, but we wanted to show you some visuals on this too. The red sign is our primary thing, the red sign that says course with an arrow and an American Cancer Society logo. Those are the arrows that you will see before the turn, at the turn, and after the turn in most situations. If there are last minute changes or detours or things that need to change, that's where you might see orange route arrow stickers on the pavement, or in a real emergency situation, some orange spray painted arrows with the letters PO. Do not just follow any random arrows painted on the pavement unless it is orange and has the letters PO. We know that road crews mark things on roads for various reasons. It has happened in the past that someone saw an arrow and they followed it and it was not one of ours. So keep in mind, if it doesn't say PO, we didn't put it there, don't follow it. Again, that spray paint is our last resort. You'll primarily see the red arrow signs or orange route arrow stickers or orange spray paint throughout the course. This is last year's writer guidebook, just so you know, that'll be coming out again next week together with the recording from this session. And again, time for questions. So there were not a ton of questions in the chat, so that must mean that everyone covered everything. But I know you might still have some questions, so now's the time. If you got anything, drop it in the chat, or at this point, feel free to jump off mute and just ask.
Well, that was ironic. She said, come off mute right when she should have gone on mute to cough. So I'll take over. Yeah, let's have a few minutes of recorded Q&A, and then we'll stop the recording, and then we can have a few more minutes of unrecorded Q&A if people just want to chat and socialize. But we've hit our hour and a half, so I think we've covered most of everything. Staff, you want to say
89 minutes, Chris Balls, 89
yeah.
minutes.
Yay.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for, joining us tonight. I know I said that at the beginning, but we just threw a lot of information at you. Some of you, this is a recap. Some of this is brand new information for some of you. So, again, don't hesitate to send questions our way after this. If you, take some time to digest tonight and want to reach out tomorrow via phone call, via, Facebook, on the Facebook page, however, whatever you guys want, just let us know, and we're happy to answer some questions for you. But we're so excited to see you guys in just 1 month from today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. This was a pleasure. I'm glad that I was here again this year.
We're glad you were
Glad
here
to have
too.
you.
Good to see you again. I'm representing.
There
Oh,
you
Yay,
look at that, a
Bike-a-thon.
Bike-a-thon t-shirt. All right.
All right, that seems like a wrap. I'm going to stop the
right.
recording.
Now there's